Hello Beckies! In today's video, we are talking about how I went from this to this. Oh my god, that was amazing.
Wait, one more time.
Let me know down in a comment below if you relate with the first clip that I showed you. When I first started lead climbing, which wasn't too long ago, I've been climbing for over 2 years now, and I started lead climbing pretty early on, like maybe a few months in. I'm not sure exactly when, but yeah, it was a struggle. I was very in my head, just very scared. And I would literally let the panic debilitate me and debilitate my ability to climb. You know, I was physically able to lead these 5-7s and 6s, but my mind literally would not let me. I think it's pretty normal for us to be scared. Like, we're humans on the side of these cliffs. Like, it's totally normal to be scared. I went from being super scared and panicked every single time I tried to lead to being really excited to lead and being more open to challenging myself on routes that I know I might have the chance to fall on. So how did I go from that to this? I'm gonna explain to you guys the two major things that changed and then also how I changed that. The first thing that I want to talk about is just I got better at climbing. I got more confident in my skills. Even though looking back now, I totally was able to physically do the 5-6 and 5-7 that I was trying to lead. It was more of like I didn't know I could. You get better at climbing. You know you've gotten better at climbing. You've done so much mileage that you have a general understanding of what your body can do. You start to get better at leading because you just know what you're capable of, I guess. But point number two, which plays an even bigger role than your physical capabilities, is your mental game. But I've seen a lot of people lead, and sometimes I'll see a really, really good climber, but then you put them on a route and their mind will literally just shut them down completely. And then you'll see the maybe not so good climber isn't as good as this person physically, maybe not as strong, but they have that confidence and they have the stoke to just get it done. And so they get it done. It might not be as pretty, you know, but they do it. And that just shows that the mental game is so important. It's really a journey. Some days you'll feel amazing and some days you won't, and that's okay. You just have to work through it. So with that being said, I'll go into what helped me work on my mental game. The first thing that I started doing was journaling. And I have a specific journal here. It's called a Sense Journal. That's what it looks like. It's really cute. Go follow them on Instagram, get you a journal. It's worth it. So one thing that I love about this journal is what it says in the very beginning. It says visualization is a very powerful tool. Every time you create a goal or start a new route, visualize how success will feel and you will have an advantage from the start. That is very powerful. You fill in all these session logs and you can go back and reflect. You can start to be aware of patterns. It really put me in this place of just realizing that I had a very negative mindset going into climbs and while I was climbing. So how did I work on that? Well, I kept journaling, but also I started to change the narrative in my head. This is a practice. Obviously, it's something you have to work on. It's not gonna come overnight. You're not gonna watch this video and be like, oh, my mindset changed. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. It's kind of like with yoga and with meditation. You acknowledge the thoughts that arise without judgment and you let them go. And not only did I let them go, but I replaced them with kind of positive affirmations. So rather than thinking about, oh, I'm gonna take a whipper, or what if my belayer doesn't have me, or what if the gear fails, what if, you replace it with, I'm a strong climber, I can do this, I'm safe, I trust my belayer. And literally, if you start with all of those thoughts from the very beginning and you continue to feed yourself those thoughts rather than feeding yourself all the garbage, you'll have a way better experience. Moving on from that, the third thing that helped me with my mental game is something that was actually suggested to me by a friend. Thank you, Mary. I really appreciate this. It helped me out so much, and that is 20 comfortable leads. And it's a list. You're gonna go 1 to 20 comfortable leads. As soon as you get on a lead where you just do not feel good mentally and you're kind of freaking out a little bit and you're just super uncomfortable and not having fun, you have to start the list over. And what I found with making this list is I really gravitated towards doing easier climbs, because in my head I have this goal of finishing this list. I'm doing easier climbs that I know for a fact I will be comfortable on. And what this did for me was get mileage under my belt of just feeling comfortable on lead. It was like a momentum thing. Like once the momentum started and like kept going, I just started to want to lead and I felt good doing it. And then I kept leading and I kept feeling good. And it was just this constant thing where I was leading and I was feeling good. And it created this habit of like, oh, I can actually do this thing and feel good doing it. What a concept. So those were my major 3 things that personally helped me the most. And I also want to talk about some things that helped other people. So I asked the question on my Instagram, what helped them with leading and just getting out of their head when they lead? And I got several answers. So let's see. So just last weekend, I was talking to my friend Becca and she said, just being mindful going into climbs and going in with the intention of learning something and not having that expectation necessarily of, oh, I should be at this level and this is how it should go. Going in with the intention to learn. I thought that was really powerful. I really liked what she said. Someone else said practice falls. I think a lot of people's fear stems from falling and getting hurt. So practice falling can be good. You start to realize like, oh, you know, falling isn't that bad. Then we have music. Obviously, if you're gonna listen to music and you have your phone on you, make sure it's in a spot where it's not gonna fall on somebody down below you. You wanna be super careful, but music helps a lot. I find it's a good distraction from maybe if you go climbing with people who like to talk to you while you lead. It's kind of cool to have music playing to just have you be sucked into what you're doing and not what other people are doing. I think a really cool thing to talk about with your climber friends is the question, how do you like to be encouraged? I was asked this question once by somebody. I wish I remember who it was. I thought it was very cool that this person asked me this question because I had never been asked that before. I think it's important to know if you're belaying somebody who's going on a climb that maybe is challenging to them, what their boundaries are within climbing and pushing their limits and all that stuff. The next thing is breathing. It's kind of like with yoga, how you'll breathe in, breathe out, move, breathe in, move. Breathe out, move. It's like with meditation, if you're focusing on your breathing specifically, then you're not really thinking about anything else. So if you're breathing through your moves, I feel like it's a good mindful practice while you're climbing. And the next one is kind of what I talked about earlier with the 20 leads, is just getting mileage in, just doing it, just going out and climbing. And inevitably with anything that you keep practicing over and over again, you will get better. I really appreciate you watching this video. It's just a topic that I really enjoy because it's so relevant. I know for a fact that I'm not the only climber who has struggled with their head game. So I really hope any of these tips helped you. If you lead climb, then I want you to tell me in the comments below what helped you. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please remember to like, and most importantly, subscribe. It helps me out so much and I really, really appreciate it. Bye, thank you. Donkey went to donkey school, yeah, yeah, okay. Lesson 1 of donkey school. Do you want to have hooves?